What's up, guys? Yo, yo, yo. All right. We're live. Okay, so let me dive into a couple things here. First and foremost, welcome. Welcome, everyone. Stream quality should be on point today. All right, let me make this thing here. So I took 2 shorts already. I'm currently in a second trade for the day. First one, I had a feeling I was going to get stopped out on, which was this one. This is oil. I was trading oil off the bat today. And we got below the previous low here. And we kind of traded down, back up. And then we did trade below for a couple hours. Ending the trading week over here. So we had about 4 hours below the previous low. And then just something about the market getting right back up into this with the new week and then just kind of staying up here. This was, I wasn't convinced fully. I still took the trade because we did have some demand. But I couldn't quite quantify like why I had that feeling. It just felt like it was short-lived based on the 1 hour time frame. So I ended up taking the trade here. And transparently, I had some doubt, a little bit of doubt because of the demand of the low. And I've been thinking about this with certain scenarios about when I doubt the demand, whether it's, trade it, don't trade it with less risk. And I feel like it's whether it's intuitive or not from a place of scarcity or anything, but just something regarding the demand felt off. So moving forward, I think with the amount of examples I've seen before, I think I am going to approach those with the half risk if I do doubt the validity of the structure. And secondly, this was what I also had it marked up, which was another push to the upside before it melted. And there we still had imbalance as well. So I had a feeling we could get to this level. So anyways, I took an L here, -1R. And then came back up into this zone. I did take the position up here. So currently in this sell. Now, you may be asking yourself, can I still get into this trade? Is it worth it? Maybe. Not right now, I would say. Not right now. It's your risk reward wouldn't be that great. And plus, we're already kind of seeing, I would say, an example of the mitigation. Actually, I guess we could still go further. So, yeah, I would say it's still valid. The more price likes to stay down here, probably the better. But I will say I think we have more that the market can still go down. So this just depends on your risk reward and if you like the overall idea. Would I trade it down here where we're at now? No. If we're kind of in the range over here, then yeah. But if the market keeps going lower, at some point I would say like we already saw the exchange of money here. So let me pull up the chat real quick. But how's everyone doing this morning? How are we feeling? If you were here on Friday, then you probably are either took the first sell or are in the second one. So let me know. Let me know if you guys are taking these trades. And then secondly, how's the quality? How's the stream quality on this? Let me know if it's starting to look solid. And then for transparency purposes, I think I'm already up on here, right? Yeah. All right. So you guys can see I already took a position, and then I have my entry right there. So currently trading this one. Let's see how much further this is gonna want to go. Sweet. So with this kind of movement, there's kind of two ways that I manage my stop. So either if I got a really good entry, I'll just move to break even, or depending on price action, I can just move to break even. If I didn't get the best entry, then I'll move my stop at least to the previous high. So here with the move that we're getting, this definitely is already mitigating, and I'm okay with just adjusting stops to, structure, whether it's the high here or whether it's a previous, just like we're getting really good price action back and forth. So either here and then you reduce your risk, or if you feel like we've gotten healthy price action up and down, not a lot of imbalances, then you can go reducing your stop. So with the way that the market's moving, I like to reduce risk at this point. Even break even over here is probably okay. I want to see if we quickly go back up, or if we actually kind of continue to create more demand down here. If we do get this, then the chances that this is going to continue bearish go higher. So we'll see. Higher time frames, which is I think where I had more conviction in. This is looking like distribution. We see the sweep of liquidity, the market work its way down. It comes back up again to rebalance, mitigate this move. So here we get another round of mitigation, closing out this liquidity sweep. So that looks good there. So básicamente, chicos, mitigación. Todo, la mi gente que tengo aquí, Latam, me dejan saber si me entienden, si están aquí conmigo. And then, secondly, I think we've now come into not just this area, but this last push to the upside before it dropped. So I would consider this now mitigated. And I like to just fill this to kind of exemplify that, okay, the order has been filled and the mitigation is now in motion. So that's good. On Friday, I went over another setup, and I wonder if you guys were able to take this to, wow, indices are melting. Look at that. Dow just falling off the face of the earth right now, and Q also dropping. If you notice, NASDAQ is falling slower. So it's still not really rebalanced completely over here, while Dow is already trading below this, already filled it and trading below. So we'll come into, we'll talk over NQ options, opportunities. I don't want to confuse you guys with options. Opportunities here. I think we can see some potential buying in this area. We see some sell-offs off of Friday, end of day, before the market started to rally. So we can get into a bit more detail here, but I definitely can see us having some reversals in this zone. I'm going to dive into this here in a second. I'll be right back with this back to NASDAQ. However, I want to talk about, funny enough, I want to talk about the peso and the Mexican peso, because I know some of you maybe were following this idea that we went over, and this mitigated really nicely. So we drew this out, I think Wednesday or Thursday, but either way, whatever day it was, we talked about bullish price action, and then the market actually took out these highs before dropping. So depending on how a structure looks right now, we might be in the market for a sell as well on peso futures. And if you're looking at CFDs and you're trading USD Mexican, remember it's going to be flip-flopped. Like the charts are flipped. So if you're buying peso futures, you would be selling USD Mexican. But in this example, right, we had the sell-off, the continuation, so liquidity sweep, rebalancing, and then the market here had another order block before it went to the upside. So played at it right here. this was the sell-off. We already saw the reversal. So you see the exchange of money here. So if you took a buy, great. I would have my stop in profit completely, no risk. If you did take a position here, then, I mean, you went over, maybe a little bit over a 1-to-1. I didn't have a limit set for anything like this, so I'm not in this. But 1.5, maybe some of you, that's your exit strategy. I would say this imbalance here could still be a probability, so taking this towards a 2R seems more likely. If price action here, and this is what I'm curious about, if price action kind of creates more bullish demand, then this action might go higher. And if it doesn't, if we kind of continue to trade down here, then I think that opens up more opportunity for this sell. So I'll have my eyes on this. But okay, just wanted to give you guys an update on what I know we had talked about, which was oil, peso from last week. But now getting into the good stuff. There's a couple areas here that I'm interested in for buys on Nasdaq. There's actually a few areas, but one of them is down here. We see a nice sweep. This was Friday, basically New York Open, clear the low, market rallies. So let's zoom in here. Let's get some detail. All right, and what's up, everyone? Puccini, what's good? You can guys go ahead and share. Let them know we're live. Let the people know. Tag your people in the community, in the Tradetopia exchange. What's up, Joe, Brandon, Dylan, Rosemary? ¿Cómo estás? Good to see you on here, Dylan. Omar, we got Seth in here. Mateo, Luis, Amy, Kaz. Buenos dias, Kaz. What's up? Corey, Struce. All right, Ray, ¿qué tal? Had a killer July. I love to hear it. San Patrick. You got Tio, Jason, Hector. What's good, primo? Oil just missed you. Rough. I'm in the second setup as well on oil. Okay, cool. So a few of you took both of them. 2 weeks into a carnivore diet. Nice. Catching a knife. On what exactly? ¿Qué tal? Saludos, Daniel. Eurocat. I can take a look at that in a bit. Corey, Assemble AI. Yeah, that's been the one that you like, huh? Took some profit on that, and now it's back down to my entry price. Well done. Buenas tardes, Cesar. What's up, Luis? I have some different entry models than you. Sorry to cheat on you. That's fun. I could care less, to be honest. As long as you're making it happen, man. That's all good. So basically, yeah, we have a couple mitigation setups at the moment. I don't really see any shakeout setups for us, so gonna just stay patient here. With ideas, we have the divergence between Nasdaq and Dow. So let's look at how the market's opening already. We can see that on New York Open, we're already starting to see a nice spike to the upside off the open, and then right now we're starting to see kind of, the market get right back to that open, rebalancing here. Meanwhile, Nasdaq, similar situation. I think we can come into end of day Friday and get a decent bounce out of this zone. So I'm looking for something kind of like this over here, especially if Nas continues to drop at a slower pace than Dow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go split screen here. And then let's pull this up. Okay, so we got NQ still holding it down. And we can definitely see the difference. The gap has already been filled on Dow by quite a bit. We're already below this level. So, okay, that's good. Playing into, some of these previous levels from the past. These were zones that the market had mitigated before. So a lot of times if a mitigation zone actually kind of functions as the same thing, but on the other side of it. So yeah, you got that. Well, one of them is yours, but with the small fractal setup within the mitigation. Cool. Yeah, man. Crush it. From there, so we're kind of getting signs that Dow is a bit more bearish. So we'll have a better opportunity, a better chance at longs with NASDAQ. So hold that. And then if we're looking at some sort of shorts for indices at some point, it looks like it would be with Dow somewhere. It looks like we already mitigated here. You see how we had one pump, clears the highs, drops down. So it looks like we could see a short that this already shorted, like this mitigated when it closed out that pump there. And then the market's just been working its way down. So to look for another selling opportunity, I think I would want to see a brand new distribution. Because one, higher time frames were very bullish. So yeah, I would want to see that. This is the Asian session high. London session highs are like over here. So I think I would rather see that, just see some sort of distribution before we look for anything else. If we're going to get into sells. Otherwise, buys look like they could be the much better opportunity. What I want to point out as well with Dow is kind of where we're trading towards. So we're trading towards all-time highs. Right now we just cleared, like Sunday basically clears last week's highs, and then we see right before London session, so end of Asian session, we see peak, the high over here. So what you can do so you just have the information, you have perspective, you can just kind of label these. I know there's indicators that do some of these things, but there's some tools, but you can call this, whether it's high of the week and Asian high, and then the London high is right over there. So the reason we have these in play, like the reason that we label them and we're just considering them, is so we can continue to remember, okay, where is the big money, where is retail money? And that helps us make decisions to understand, okay, psychologically, where is there liquidity and where is there a target for the market. So here, same thing, we're seeing high of the, so literally the exact same thing is here, high of the week, Asian high, or everything just turns around. A trade like this is not one that I would take for a long amount. Like I wouldn't take this trade for a super long risk reward, only because we're trading inside of a range. So you can see these were like our lows. These are balanced over here, and then we just go, and here's like the 15-minute structure. So if we take a trade here, you could get a good bounce. You can get maybe a 2R, a little more, but then we might just come back down to play out of this zone. So these are like the two areas that I like for buys, like right around here. And then the entry for this one, I would understand if for NASDAQ you want to trade this somewhere a little bit. So for example, we've seen a lot of support, a lot of reversals out of this area. So if you wanted to take a buy, somewhere over here, totally can see it. A little bit lower too, you see some reversals. So just somewhere in this 350-ish range, 360, like anywhere really in this zone looks like a quality play. And then where the take profit goes, it's really going to depend on, I guess, how we work our way down. So this is my thought process right now with indices and opportunities. There's a lot of liquidity, a lot of sideways movement, so I do think we can work our way over here at some point. And in order to sell, like I said, it would probably be Dow, and then I would want to see just further confirmation, further proof. But look at the way that Dow is still working its way down, rebalancing. Feed is skipping a bit on your end. That sucks. Really? Still? It shouldn't be. Like, my frames aren't dropping or anything like that. Or anymore. Maybe it did for a little bit. Buenos días, ¿qué tal, Daniel? What's up, Greg? That made equal highs on Top Step. Corey, what did Dow? On micros or on mini? Yeah, remember, you want to look at YM. This is like the chart that's going to have the most liquidity. So if you're looking at MYM, you're not technically looking at the right chart. The liquidity is going to be a little bit different. So make sure you're looking at YM. Mini, now it's okay. Are you sure? Or is it micro? Micro is MYM. Double check. What's up, Sonia? What's good, dude? What up, Ma? Okay, cool. So with oil, I wanted to, dive in here one more time. Oil it worked its way down. It's playing out of the typical, break and retest like zone. So the market is creating more support over here, which is usually a good sign that the market doesn't, like when the market came up to here, it wasn't to make a higher high. It was to liquidate sellers. It was to attract buy positions over here. So this lures in some more positions. To be honest, this might turn into a shakeout setup. If it doesn't just break through and keep melting, it could definitely turn into something bigger. And one thing I didn't go over yet on here is my exit on this trade. So I'm excuse me. I'm liking a couple areas. One, rebalancing this London session imbalance here. This is a target for me. So just taking this into the imbalance, and there's a little order block right there that we can take an exit. That puts this trade at like a 3.4. From here, however, we do have another form of liquidity, two versions of it, basically equal lows, and this is also the low of London session. So there's definitely liquidity over here, and on top of that, there's higher time frame liquidity that we're dealing with. So I have this open on multiple accounts outside of prop firms. So I am looking forward to holding this trade as a swing trade. But for my non-swing trading, so for the prop firm accounts, for futures specifically, this I am looking to max basically take out to here, which would put us at about a 5.6 R. However, I am going to take some profits as this market gets to here. Here's where we really saw a big sell-off. See here and then rallied. So around this range is where I want to take some off the table. At that point, it's already a really solid trade, and it's a high probability reversal or high probability exit. And then you have over here. But outside of that, especially if we can just, I'm looking to swing on other. Okay, let's see. So one thing I'm curious about. is this thing not disappearing? There we go. So yeah, one thing I wanted to see here is, so we're seeing Nasdaq, and maybe it may take me a little bit too long to see this, but Nasdaq went below these lows here into the gap, and then for like 20 minutes or so, it came right back up, and right now it's kind of struggling to break below. It doesn't really want to trade lower. So I wonder if we're seeing. I wouldn't really focus on buying here, but this isn't really creating too much demand. After it came back up to here, it doesn't seem to want to trade down here for much longer. So I'm not going to look for a buy or anything right now. I'm cool with that. There's a lot of incentive for price to go lower, but definitely interesting to see how this is playing out. Okay, oil's pretty choppy today. It's just bouncing, man, up and down and up and down. Pretty big, quick moves. Let's see. This is holding it down, so even if we do see a spike up, honestly, I think it's going to be a pretty decent opportunity for another short if it does happen to just like spike up into like, I don't know, 66.85 or something over here. I could see it just drop from here again. Because if you notice the sweep to the upside, what this did was take out Friday's highs and actually the highs of the week, and it played into not just last week but the week before that. So it pumped right into this zone. So anyone that was selling last week just got stopped out. So yeah, I could see it. I could see at this point, like, the way the market went up and back down, this is giving me signs that even if it did go up again, it would drop. So if you wanted to stack an entry with a reasonable risk, then I would be open to that idea for sure. It's skipping hard? Really? Oh, yeah. No, it definitely did. My bad, guys. Why, though? Close the video and open it. Stop skipping. No, it's definitely on my end. Give me 1 second, guys. Okay, we'll see if it's magically better now. I feel like it will be. Clear for me. Okay. Yeah, I'll look at majors right now. I got you. Okay, so yeah, look at that. Nasdaq starting to push to the upside. It looks like this was the kind of the accumulation. So we get below for, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes or so. Market pushes higher, and there's definitely a divergence. We're seeing Nasdaq push to the downside here. So you see it play out like this. Does basically, yeah, a shakeout here, and then we had pretty much more proof that it could work out, since Dow was only making lower lows and lower lows and lower highs and lower lows, while Nasdaq was making higher lows over here. This isn't like a textbook setup for me. The amount that the market traded down here for a decent amount to kind of create a lower low on the 1 minute. So not being in this trade is more than okay for me. I don't feel like, oh, we missed out on a quality setup. It was an okay setup. So yeah, nothing I would be tripping about too much. Okay, so while this just does whatever, I'm going to place an alert if it does crack these lows here. That way we can just be ready. But yeah, let's go look at some other stuff here. Oil doing its thing. All right, holding up. So let's look at the majors. So over here, what we're seeing, looking at, this is Australian. So this is the equivalent of AU for those of you trading CFDs. So this is Australian futures. We'll just consider it AUD USD. Very similar chart. At the moment, market has been trading bullish for quite some time. However, it wasn't until here. This is where we started seeing signs that the market may not continue to be bullish. Right over here. Why? The market clears liquidity. And then as soon as it, like at the same pace it goes up, it goes down. So you can kind of tell that the intention behind a move like this was just to lure in buyers, take out sellers. And if you look at this, when you are looking at higher time frames, one of the charts I like to look at is the 8-hour and then the daily, so that you can just see a bit more of how quickly or how session by session things turn around or things are established. So here we see it come back down and come right back up. So this is kind of a sign of, sweeping liquidity, trading into these levels, some of the imbalance. There's definitely a lot more. There's a lot more. The market will come down to here at some point. And then the market comes back up. And here is where many will consider this higher highs. I won't. This is not a higher high to me. Well, okay. Yes, it is higher than the previous high, but this is not bullish structure. So a higher high is not always bullish structure. And that has everything to do with demand. So little demand here. And this comes crashing back down. So I know at this point there's going to be the desire to probably buy somewhere in here. I think this would be probably a pretty typical like smart money play. It would be that. It would be people would be buying over here. I'm not looking to buy because of this over here. These higher highs, I think, just don't do it. So I wouldn't look to take this position. I would be more open to buying down here. So over here, we had this spike down and then the push to the upside. And you also have an order block right there too. So anywhere really in here, whether it's off of the order block or in this imbalance, yeah, these look like good areas in my opinion. Okay. So that's with Australian. Now, you're going to see similar charts across the board. So you're going to see this with like NZD or like the British pound. So if you're looking at, for example, this is Australian. Let's look at more majors so we can make a decision. Now, one thing I do want to bring up right now is the following, which is pull up oil, guys. I want you to pull up oil. So take a look at what's happening with oil. So let me just go back over here. And oil, what oil is doing right now is, I think it's giving us a second setup. So oil is squeezing, moving sideways, holding it down over here. And in this range right now, like literally right over here, I think it's creating this is a secondary entry model that I have, which is basically the opposite of a break and retest. So when the market creates a break and retest situation, and then it shows us that it didn't really have as much demand in this direction, so it goes up but just loses that momentum and then stays down here, and we saw the market trade down here for just about 30 minutes. This to me looks like a way for it to just lure in buyers again. So stack up more buy orders over here for the market to clear this down again. So I'm under the belief that the market could short from here again. And yeah, that's so yeah, I think this can keep going to the downside. So just a different trade in my opinion. Anywhere basically over here you can look for, and whoa, my bad, you can look for, I would be looking for entries, so anywhere in this range over here. But again, that's just how I look at the market. Obviously you guys trade your game, trade your plan. I'm just walking you through my. So this is one of these examples where you get a mitigation and you can possibly get whether it's a re-entry. If you're going to add to this, then you are trading in the same direction again. It is a different entry model, so it's up to you on how you want to risk. Could be the same as before, it could be less. Your call. Yeah, there we have it. So that's going to be how this goes here. So I am still shorting oil. Okay. Meanwhile, let's see, NQ still chopping. Dow still just dying, just shorting here. I wouldn't go and get in the way of. I wouldn't enter buys on Dow. That's just me. The way that it's moving right now, I wouldn't want to get in this. Like, I'm all about catching a falling knife, but only when it makes sense. It's getting near like zones where I think people would trade this. If they only independently look at Dow, then I think people are going to end up taking buys on this, and I think they're going to get stopped out because NASDAQ still has quite a bit to drop. So if NASDAQ joins the bearish party, then it's only going to push Dow further down. All right, so anyways, while that goes down, let's look at some more majors. We looked at Australian. I talked about how I would be focused on over here, not over here. If we look at pound, so 6B, look at the difference in these charts. So this was the zone that I like here for Australian is back around June 23rd. If we look at the pound, it already traded out of this zone weeks ago. So when you compare these two and price action itself, Australian right now is trading around Tuesday, July 22nd, price action, those lows. Pound is already below those two. So GBP is just way more bearish time and time again. So I would want to short pound rather than buy. It's just way more bearish. So when it works its way back up, it's more likely to see some reversals over there. All right. And then this is where things get a little different if you're looking at CFDs or futures. 6C, this is Canadian futures. This is going to be the opposite of USD CAD, like directionally. So, for example, if you're looking at a chart and it's like, oh, it looks like CAD futures are going to go up, that means USD CAD would go down. Okay? So when we're looking at 6C, remember your USD CAD chart is going to be going in the opposite direction. So with something like this, we didn't get confirmation for this one or anything. Here, what do you see? For me, I don't really have too much going on here. I'm not really looking for much. I'm kind of chilling on this one. Yeah, this one looks like just pretty easy money over here. Like liquidity. So if you guys wanted to mark it up, You have a little spike up here, just a small little move to the upside. Could be a sell zone there. From there, the market just moved sideways. Last Wednesday, just consolidation, liquidity. So retail sells build up here, and the market's just following price action, slow and steady, doing its thing until we get to here. So right now, I'm not really in love with any ideas. Looks like shorts could play out well. It just might be a minute for this. This is more on the 1 hour time frame. Maybe it things get like maybe we get more confirmation, more price action, and then we'll get more detail later on. All right, now we're taking a look at euro. So euro here, very bearish, working its way down. If we compare this to, Australian, euro's already trading much lower. Right, euro's trading back down to July 20th in this area. So similar thing, like if this is so bearish, I'm not looking to get into buys with what's dropping very quickly. I'd rather wait for good pullbacks and then see if shorts make sense. So when you're looking at majors, that divergence just goes such a long way. And really good setups here still are in motion with the yen. So here is USD. So remember, with USD JPY, it's the opposite of this chart. And you'll see, so I can actually, what I'll do is I'll split screen this for you guys. So you can see the yen futures, and then we'll see USD JPY over here. And so you'll notice a couple things. So it'll act like the opposite, basically. So the sweep to the downside. So you'll have some sort of zone here for the buy. On USD JPY. And then you'll see another one right over here. Now you'll get more detail. Obviously, if you go to the smaller time frames, you can see where the money really kicks in. So like right there. And then like right around here. But you can see the timing is the same. So do the markups on your own charts, save them, set up your alerts. And yeah, so I'll give you guys a bit more perspective again here. So we see the sweep to the upside, clears these highs, and then everything drops. This is from Thursday, New York session. And then this rebalances. Everything's really smooth over here. So I like the zone. We kind of have some liquidity over here, so I'm curious to see how this holds up. But considering that we saw a big spike during Asian session, clearing out some highs, and then immediately turning around, and prices stayed trading down here all of Friday, and then now going into the last session of the day, I think we could definitely get a good reversal here either way. So I think we have good options with yen futures for sure. Update with oil. Oil trading relatively high into the zone. I would say it doesn't mean that it can't play out. So if you're waiting for a higher entry, perfect. You're getting one. And yeah, so I'm still in shorts. I'm in 2 shorts right now. I'm in reduced risk shorts, and then I'm in the shakeout setup sell as well. Now, if you're looking to understand more on some of these principles and you want more detail, make sure you check out our classroom here. All right, we go into the smart money playbook. We'll talk about different types of concepts here with smart money. And then also in the vault over here, we have, I think, is it in the vault? Actually, I don't know where. Hold on. Where did I put this thing? Maybe I don't have it in here. Oh, the PDF is not in here. All right, that's my bad. Cool. Well, I'll get that to you guys. But yeah, if you're focusing on building your system, different entry models, what does it take to do that? That's actually some of the things that we build out in the syndicate. So for some of you that are in here, that's like some of the things that we're going and we're diving into. As you're doing the lessons and as you're filling out worksheets, like you're creating not just your identity, but your system in itself. So something for you guys to make sure you're putting attention into is how do you really qualify your entries, your stops, your risk management. So how do you know, should you have a plan for an entry? Should you have, let's say you're trading more than, you're taking a second trade for the day. Do you risk the same? Do you risk less? Do you risk more? So make sure you guys know those things so you can have consistent outcomes that are not just based out of, hope. It's just actual quality trading. Okay. So yeah, yen looks solid. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to, I forgot to start doing this at the beginning of the session, but let's go ahead and start building out some of the good setups for today. So Tradetopia trades, July 28, 2025. So we have 6J here. Some solid setups. I like some of these here. I think these can turn out to be pretty good. We'll see if we get these. Have your alert set for these. Oh, you know what? I don't think I got an alert, so hopefully it hasn't played out yet. But there was a silver setup that I was waiting for. I don't think the alert went off. Perfect. All right, mark all as red. Yes. Okay. All right, and then here's NZD as well. NZD and AUD have similar movement, as you can see here. So if we're looking at, this is Australian again, but if you're looking at the big picture on AUD USD, we're trading right around that 618 pullback. If we look at the Kiwi, so NZD is dropping at a slightly slower pace. So of all the setups, I think NZD might give us the best chance at winning. It's just dropping at a slower pace as of right now. So I totally could see. So you guys have this right here. You see support, some equal lows, more support over here. So this is an example of liquidity building up. Buyers, all in the zone. Then you see the sell-off and the market rips. So could we see a reversal out of this? I think we could. Obviously, you also see liquidity building up over here. And then on the 17th, we see a push to the downside before the market then rallies as well. So could we see a reversal over here? Yeah. And this is similar to what we were seeing with Australian. So we can go split screen over here. And then let's pull this up over here. Okay. Okay. So check this out. You now have, these are like the two zones really. Similar. You got the sell-off here, and then you got the market rallying. So one of these is going to give some opportunity. It looks to me like NZD is way more qualified. So New Zealand futures. And then whether it's taking the buy here first maybe trading into the nearest imbalances, or it's the one below. So I can see both. I can definitely see both. Quick update on oil. We are starting to see a decent sell-off here. So the shakeout setup just might play out over here. So first one continues to be in profit. This second trade with my entry is hovering right around the entry. Obviously, could have had a better entry, but man, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We'll see where we get to. Right now, I would say the next immediate understanding would be for this to clear the lows, these lows here, these New York session lows. And when it does that, or if it does that, then stops would be adjusted again following structure. Yeah, just continuing that structure and seeing where that takes us. Curious to see if we get a little bounce out of this little sell-off and as it moves up. Yeah, we'll see what happens there. Maybe there's a little reversal type of thing there, but we'll see how that goes. But yeah, right now we're starting to see the momentum back to the downside. We have two entries based off of logic. These are all mechanical entries, black and white confirmations. So it's looking pretty good. The natural incentive would be because buyers were lured in here, and then as it rallied to the upside, this introduces more chasing buy stops. That's for retail to get in. Liquidity here builds up. So for the market to target minimum these lows makes the most sense. From here, who knows? The market could want to just reverse and go up again. That's possible. So that's why when the market, or if the market clears these lows, that's when I would make sure to adjust my stops and reduce risk as much as possible. So just to follow up with oil, anyone in oil? Anyone take both the setups or in one of them? Just bought Mexican peso. Nice. Cuando puedas hacerlo en español. Básicamente lo que decía es que con petróleo ya estamos viendo la mitigación original y aquí fue la entrada que le llamo el shakeout, cuando básicamente es lo opuesto de un quiebre retesteo, entendiendo el quiebre retesteo que atrae compradores y entramos en el otro lado de la jugada, entendiendo que hay mucha liquidez por aquí que el mercado va a querer atacar. Nice to see similar biases play out. At the top for UK last week on the zone, you had nice from different traders. Sweet. I have a zone which is near on silver futures. Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to look at. In the second setup, I'm in the shakeout now. Yes, in the shakeout, I'm in oil. Cool. Yeah, good stuff. Let's see what happens. Okay, so that's NZD. I'm going to go ahead and share. Don't need the second chart here. So I'll go ahead and share this with you guys. Yeah, I don't really look at crosspairs too much, but I can do that at the end. So let me just, I know there's a lot of CFD traders too. So, okay, here we go. There we go. Nice. Getting good movement, guys. It's a happy Mike Nav family. Tradetopia up. Hell yeah. Hey, drop a W in the chat if you're in profits right now. Let's see it. Let's see the wins. All right, and then we have USD CHF. Not too much I'm looking at there. Okay. All right, so let's look at metals. You bought peso. Is that what someone said? I wouldn't buy it like I talked about earlier. I think the trade already did its thing. These sells look like they're going to be better confirmations now, for sure. This looks good. This looks like it's going to be a good opportunity later. But we'll get into that. We'll talk about that later. Let's compare gold and silver. So gold has been pushing down and down and down. Actually, it was CJ. CJ dropped it in the. Actually, I'll just post this for now, and then we can look at this later. Gold thoughts. What's up, Gio? Trading in here. So I'm looking at silver, and I think gold can get below these lows and maybe trade out of this zone, and that could actually line up silver at the same time. So I am waiting for gold to clear some of these lows, trading into like June, end of June's price action. I got out. My zone was different. Oh, okay, cool. So yeah, look at silver, guys. Here is silver. So silver, in my analysis, did not mitigate. I had a lower zone. So let me see. I think I was on the smaller time frame. I had it from here. So let me zoom in and see what's up. Not really sure why, but oh, okay, huh, interesting. I mean, yeah, it totally shorted from up here. So it's sold off from this zone. I mean, I can go even down more, I guess. But no, this definitely started to sell off from over here. So that's silver on. And then we saw off the open. Yeah, it definitely played out of the open. However, I don't think we got the mitigation, though. I don't think so. Okay. Huh. Interesante. All right, it's pretty damn close. Just a few pips away. And then it came down again. And I wonder if now it's going to rip. So yeah, I think I'm good on it. I don't think I'm going to be taking any positions on it. If you took that gold play that you were looking at, Gio, you might be okay. Playing out of this here. I think you just dropped the chart over there. Yeah, 4 hour on. Oh, CFDs looked a little different, huh? Interesting. Yeah, that looks so different. That looks like it's playing out of here. That's a way different chart. Huh. I know. Well, there's a new contract coming in here, so I wonder, are we already like in this vibe basically? Interesting. So I mean, yeah. Silver longs, like metals going to the upside, looks good now. I wouldn't chase it anymore. Looks like we played out of the zone twice. There's still more supply over here. Like there's way more reversal zones back down in this level. Technically, we got really close to mitigating, a little bit off. So if we see gold drop again down to this level, and I'm going to place an alert here. But if we see gold get down to here, now we're looking at gold trading at a 4 hour extreme. So that would be gold trading at 4 hour lows, doing all this. If gold gets to here and silver is still in this range, I could be incentivized to take a buy on silver because it would be trading out of more than likely this order block as well. So I'm going to keep this one in mind. We'll see what happens. Oil's dropped into here, creating some more liquidity. So we got a nice reversal there. We got a nice bounce. So this is luring in buyers. When the market just starts to run, definitely lures in more buyers. Market tanks here. We're seeing another support build up. So this is building up more liquidity from here. I think we go down. If I were like if I'm in this trade, which I am, but if I were you guys, stops, adjusting stops for sure. We up. Good stuff, Gio. So yeah, I'm tightening in. I'm tightening up stops for sure. We got the trades running smooth. And then from here, yeah, I think the next area where maybe we get some sort of reversal would be over here. I could kind of see a bounce or something. If it bounces really aggressively and then we see there's really no demand, then honestly better off probably just taking profit. But if it comes down to here, we get a little bounce and then we just keep trading low, then, further down we go. So right now on this setup, up about over a 1R. And then on the first trade, it's up right now about 1.5R. So collectively about 2.5R. Yeah, so I'm going to have a little alert here once it clears these lows because I want to see the liquidity swept. All right, so yeah, good bounce on metals. Well done for you guys. Well, that was quick. There we go. So now it's starting to break below here. What we want to see to just confirm the direction of this is what this looks like. If getting below these lows is something that we see demand for, so there's buyers and sellers just kind of battling it out over here, or if we don't see that happen, then that gives us a totally different example for this trade. So we'll let it do its thing. Okay, that's metals. What else we got? Energy. That's what we're doing right now with oil we've been looking at. Natural gas, we haven't been trading this at all. I've been out of this. We already saw this mitigation went really well. This looks like it could be an opportunity. I'll keep you guys in the loop. A natural gas shorts out of here. But I think I'm retired from natural gas unless it's higher time frame swings. Crypto. What's crypto doing today? Decent. Oh, it's definitely losing some momentum over here. Nice. So further buys with Bitcoin here look like this to me. Looks like we can get all the way down to like under 116 to long this again. This was a great shakeout setup. Worked its way down, goes up, plays out of here, rips. We're seeing a lot of demand up in this level again. Yeah, this looks solid. So we're probably going to clear these lows for Bitcoin. It's got liquidity over here. It's got imbalance. Yeah, you can definitely see some reversals out of this area. Huge sell-offs over here. From up here down to here. Bounces up one more time, and then it rips. But yeah, anywhere really in this zone. Looks good. 116 or under is probably a fire quality reversal zone for Bitcoin. I'd say keep your eyes on Bitcoin and ETH just to see like how they're working their way back down. ETH as well, does a huge sell-off before it rallies. So keep both of these in your line of sight. But Bitcoin looks good. So let me add this to here. BTC USD. Okay, seeing kind of an up and down over here. It's kind of playing out of this spike down that it had. So there's kind of more support being created right there as well. Let's go. So I am going to look at, I know some of you asked about a couple other things, but I'm going to look at cross pairs in a second. But so since I took my eyes off of indices here, saw a big reversal right out of here. Dow just started ripping at the end of the hour. And so what did NQ do? Yeah, so these are moving not quite together. Kind of up. They're kind of moving a little bit indifferent to one another. So still stands, in my opinion, my take on indices overall. I think we might see, thank you, sir. We just might see NQ play out of this zone, like right below the gap, right below that open. And then at the same time, I wonder if that takes Dow kind of down into this last point of supply and then the lower zone. So, yeah, curious to see how that plays out. But I'm going to go ahead and share my NQ zones here for you guys as well. So let's add it to the chart. NQ. All right. If you guys have any setups you want me to look at, drop them in this here. So drop your setups here. Interesting how oil just kind of fell asleep over here. It's just chilling. Like it's just building up for the last 15 minutes or so. Just like building up more support. I honestly wonder if we're going to get another one of the same, kind of a similar thing, where it'll just pump up to here and then drop again. So you might have to experience another, where you look at your chart or you look at your P&L and you're like, damn, I'm losing profits again. Oh no, what if it comes back? And kind of deal with all that. But it's part of the game, Got to be able to endure it. So yeah, I wonder if it does the same thing. We are getting more and more signs that like the market is relatively bearish. Like time and time again, when the market goes up, it doesn't really stay up here. So it's looking pretty solid so far. I think the 30-minute probably give a good chart. Like nice little wick, goes up again, comes back down, comes down and up again. So yeah, I mean, this looks solid to me. So I'll add this one as the last chart for the session. Yeah, so I'll add a note here. So looking for trendline liquidity to be swept for my swing trade on this. Okay. Oh, you guys are alive. Look at you. Here you go. I was like, I hadn't looked at the chat, so I was like, where's everyone? All right, CL. Well, currently running in profit. Mateo, what you got? Euro GBP. Little sweep. That looks good. Yeah, it looks solid. Let me take a look at to the left of that. Kind of want to see what else is going on. Yeah, this looks good. Little sweep into here. Goes. Solid, man. Good stuff. I like it. That gets a thumbs up. Solid. All right, Patrick, what you got? Your GBP. I can't really tell where your entry is, but it's like the same trade, I'm assuming. Looks like probably somewhere in there. If it's the same idea, then yeah, both of you guys. Good stuff. Apparently I can't give you a thumbs up. I'm sorry, man. I wish I could validate that trade, but apparently I can't. All right, here we go. One more time. Or did you delete it? Oh, you deleted it. Marked this up last night. Same setup for 6J. What's up, Nora? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, fire. I like that. On it. Look at you. All right, Daniel. Quick update, guys. It looks like we just had a little spike down here. Little spike below. All right, let's see how this continues. All right, everyone sees Euro GBP. Okay. Yes. Looks like it's across the board. We're all on the same page with this one. All right, this up, Daniel. Euro CAD. Let's see. I haven't looked at these, so I'm not sure. Euro CAD setup. So it looks like a lot of Euro setups have a similar setup. Like there's the sweep from the 23rd during London session, and then the rally. So yeah, I would probably just take a look at just Euro trades in general and see, okay, what are these all looking like? Are these all gonna approach the zone? Right now, Euro USD and Euro CAD are probably gonna have more volume. So let me take a look at Euro CAD again real quick. Oh yeah, these are trading super different. So then is this about Euro or is this about CAD? Okay, interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'd look at this independently. I could see it definitely playing out of this zone. Looks solid. Independently, the chart looks great. Yeah. And then CAD CHF. You're looking to buy in here somewhere? Let me see. Let me pull up the chat. Buying CAD THF, BT right at yesterday's New York Open. Yeah, same thing as what I was seeing with silver. And I'm buying your GP and CHF GBP. GBP CHF. Gold is on the move, up or down? Oh, it's all good. Charts. Yeah, I mean, if we have more people that are looking at the same stuff, like it goes to show this duplication. So CAD CHF. Let's see. Okay, so structure-wise, the fact that we just saw a sweep to the upside like this, that swept. This is took out tons of money. All the money's here. So you had, yeah, just basically the highs of last week clears that. Immediately comes down. So this is definitely not giving us a bullish structure. Despite it going higher high briefly, I wouldn't consider this bullish structure because there's just no demand over here. However, the push to the downside does make a great move, rebalance, mitigates. The buy was great here, and then pushes down. So if this comes back up and then we kind of see more proof that the market wants to stay bullish, then I'd say, yeah, your trade over down here somewhere makes more sense. If that's not the case and the market just kind of dies from here, then I would be looking not to take this anymore. But that's just me. Yeah, I would definitely want to have just more confirmation that the market's going to stay bullish. Otherwise, this might end up becoming a good selling trade. So let's say the market continues and we just see something like this instead, then I would look for shorts, at least to here. This right here might give a nice bounce. So, but that's what I'm kind of what I'm mindful of is like, what is this gonna look like in a few hours? And depending on what happens here, it's gonna make this either bounce really well, or it might just kind of break through all of this and just continue to the downside. So we'll see. But right now, I don't have enough information to confirm that. So I'll play some alerts here. All right, cool. But yeah, good setups. NZD CHF. Looks like it gaps down a little bit. These look like equal lows. Looks like support here for yours. But it might just depend on the chart that you sent here. I don't know Vantage like that, so let's see. Yeah, you do see it push to the downside, and then we do make a nice rally. However, we're not getting enough bullish structure yet. So I would say, yeah, let this confirm. Like get a confirmation if it's gonna happen in there. Otherwise, looks like a better trade is over here. Playing out of this zone. Right there. See that sweep and the rally? So over here, this looks like a better trade. So yeah, Puccini, keep this one in mind. Oil right now, after squeezing again, more retail, more sideways movement, more buys over here. Market's pumping up again. Like I mentioned, this might be luring in buyers one more time, playing into this zone here. Just might see another round of this. The question now becomes, do you want to stack entries again? Like, do you go for it one more time? So we worked our way down. We traded sideways for well over 25 minutes. I think it really is going to depend on how much risk you want to have on the table, what you want to give back. That would be my perspective at the moment. But yeah, I mean, this looks like it's luring in. This is accumulating buys for sure, and then now it's when the market goes in that direction. This is where like the FOMO comes in. You get people that are taking candlestick patterns to go, oh, cool. Here's an engulfing. Let me take my position now, based on demand and not just blindly taking candlestick patterns. This just continues to look like a quality selling opportunity. So that's what I'm gonna do. Brandon, what did you just ask? You asked, I'm curious if that would have met criteria for a shakeout. Hey Mike, was the silver futures a valid shakeout setup, the one that's just played out? Let's look at it. All right, I'm wrapping up with this one. I didn't follow up with it, but so we saw the market take the low, and then we see the market trade up here for 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, comes screaming back down before it pushes up again. Would this have been a valid shakeout setup? Yeah, I'd say so. I wasn't, especially when it's like chilling and then it just melts and then quickly comes right back up. Yeah, I'd say so. I wish I would have been paying attention, but that I guess it is what it is. A lot more momentum with silver than gold too, which makes sense as we had talked about silver having like it wasn't dropping at the same capacity. So yeah. Yeah, definitely a scary one. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. And just like that, right back down. These are a lot of retail buys down here. It might be time for this thing to this might be breaking through here soon. All right, if you got wins today, if you're in these oil sells, let's see the wins. Drop your post, tag it with the win. We want to see it. If you want to if you want to have the trade management skill set, if you want to have the ability to maneuver your emotions, then like keep showing up. And if you really want hands-on work, then I would encourage you to apply for the syndicate for sure. So think about your trading experience so far today, right? Think about, how was I able to approach this market? Did I have every element to my trading system down? Do I know what a trading system is? Do I have my risk set in stone? Do I have my trading management aligned? When it's time to follow my plan, am I able to do those things? Am I listening to myself? Am I making impulsive decisions? So consider these things, right? Evaluate if you should be at least journaling these trades, whether if it's not instantly or during this, then after. So make sure you're keeping these things aligned, and if you know that there's a lot to work on, then keep showing up, guys. What I will say is, don't let one moment deter you from making this work, all right? So click that link if you want to apply for more hands-on work. Otherwise, guys, we'll be here again tomorrow. And this is a very busy week. Like this week, tomorrow we have New York Open and then dollar news. Wednesday we have 5 different volatility events, high impact volatility events with non-farm, employment change, advanced GBP, New York Open, then interest rates, then the conference. Yeah, big things coming over here. And then Thursday we have 3 different reasons for volatility an hour before New York Open, and then Friday we have NFP. So stay plugged in with the community. I'm going to drop the invite to the community right now. I'm going to drop that here in the chat so that you guys have it. We're going to be doing a couple extra bonus sessions just for FOMC and for NFP this week. So you could have up to, at this point, up to 7 live sessions if you're obviously, if you have the time for it or if you make the time for it. So make sure in the community, here it is. Let's see, free community. There it is. So 2 links. If you want hands-on mentorship, click the one above. And then if you want to be in the free community, click the one below. Also, boom, oil dropping into this zone. Let's see if we can get lower lows and if we get some demand over here. At this point in time, guys, I think you're pretty good to have reduced risk, at least to this zone. If not, and you don't want to have any risk on the table anymore, then, risk-free. Risk-free. So, guys, let's see the wins. Let's see where this takes us to. This was a pretty mellow drop to the downside. Let's see if that's all it's going to be, or if we're going to continue to melt down, or if this is going to go the other way. But shouldn't be, especially with this trade up here, the first one, no risk there. For this second one, it's really up to your preference if you want to have a little bit of wiggle room or if you also want to go risk-free on this as well. But at this point, this trade here is now running well over a 1R, went up to 1.4. We want to see this go a bit further. And then the first trade is running similarly. So, cool. See you guys on the next one. Peace out.